Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Let me take this moment to reintroduce myself. I am the Gothic Rose, hostess of the Dark Entertainment Network. This is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories and makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. I do this because I enjoy it. If you like this type of content, please follow along, because I'm not going to stop. Hello, and welcome back, dear fiends of the den, as we continue the haunted Hollywood history. And today we talk about two controversial movies: the movie Freaks and the movie Chained for Life, both starring conjoined twins Daisy and Violet Hilton, and what those movies inspired. I've been talking a little bit about this in previous episodes, so be sure to catch up on Sideshow and all of its controversies. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked, commented, and been part of the Dark Entertainment Network. Thank you for joining me in the den. The 1932 film Freaks has a cult following. This is a cult I am proud to be part of. I love this film. I saw it back in the 90s, directed by Tod Browning. It has a fascinating and controversial history. It was based on the short story Spurs by Todd Robbins and set in a traveling French circus. The plot revolves around a trapeze artist who schemes to marry and murder a sideshow performer for his inheritance, only to face dire consequences. The film was groundbreaking for its time, featuring real-life sideshow performers with disabilities, such as conjoined twins Daisy and Violet Hilton and Schlitzie, a man with microcephaly. So that's a little person. However, its unflinching portrayal of these performers led to significant backlash. Audiences found it grotesque, and the film was heavily censored, with about 30 minutes cut from its original version. It was even banned in several countries, including the UK, Australia, and Canada, and in the UK, the ban lasted over 30 years. Despite its initial failure, Freaks has since been reevaluated and is now considered a cult classic, and it really is. So it raises a complex question about the exploitation versus representation, and some view it as progressive for its time, where others criticize its portrayal of the performers. But it really was such a deep dive into their real lives that I think that that's what people found so controversial about it. And of course, it went on to inspire the Broadway musical that I have spoken about, Sideshow. So the last couple of episodes have been about Sideshow and, of course, the controversy surrounding the actress Alice Ripley. But let's just briefly go over Sideshow. I saw this in previews. I now remember that it was October of 1997 because it opened October 16th, 1997 and ran for 91 shows. So this musical tells the story of Daisy and Violet Hilton, real-life conjoined twins who appeared in Freaks in the subplot where one twin was getting married. So this musical delves into their personal struggles and relationships. I have the original cast recording. It is absolutely fantastic. Now, Freaks is considered more of a horror drama with a darker tone, but Sideshow takes the much more empathetic and emotional approach, focusing on the twins' inner lives and their journey to find love and belonging, which was part of their subplot in Freaks. So both of these works challenge societal perceptions of otherness and celebrate the resilience of those who live outside of conventional norms. So I highly suggest, if you can find clips of the original musical anywhere, you check it out. It is just fabulous. If you are a fan of American Horror Story and you loved the Freak Show season, that had a lot of inspiration come from the 1932 film Freaks. So, again, this set to explore themes of community, exploitation, and vengeance within the world of sideshow performers. So the creators of Freak Show paid homage to freaks by incorporating similar character archetypes and storylines. For example, the conjoined twins Betty and Dot Tatler in Freak Show were inspired by Daisy and Violet Hilton, who appeared in Freaks. And additionally, the show's depiction of performers' camaraderie and their retaliation against those who exploit them mirrors the plot of Freaks. And the season also includes direct references to the films, such as discussions about freaks amongst the characters and scenes that resemble key moments from the movie. So these nods highlight the enduring impact of Tod Browning's controversial masterpiece on modern storytelling. So the movie itself is a pre-code drama horror film, Freaks. Produced and directed by Tod Browning, it starred Wallace Ford, Layla Himes, Olga Balkanova, and Roscoe Attees. So Freaks originally was intended as a vehicle for Lon Chaney, and it's set amongst the backdrop of traveling French circus and follows a conniving trapeze artist who joins the carnival sideshow performers, plans to seduce and murder a little person in the troupe to gain his inheritance, but the plot just goes wrong for her. It was filmed in Los Angeles in 1931, and some MGM employees were discomforted by the presence of the actors portraying the freaks on set. And other than the so called normal looking freaks, as in Daisy and Violet Hilton and the Earls, the performers were not allowed to be in the studio lot, but relegated instead to a specially built tent. The film had test screenings in January 1932, with many members of the audience reacting negatively and finding the film too grotesque. In response to this, MGM executive Irving Thalberg, without consent of director Browning, edited the original 90-minute feature, which was significantly cut, with additional alternate footage incorporated to help increase the running time. The final abridged cut of the film, released in February 1932, was 64 minutes, and sadly, the original version no longer exists. What an absolute shame. Now, Daisy and Violet Hilton did get another chance to perform in a movie, and let's talk for a minute about Chained for Life. Chained for Life. This is a 1952 film starring Daisy and Violet Hilton, the real life conjoined twins who were also the darlings of vaudeville. And this is a fascinating and poignant film. The movie was inspired by their own lives and struggles, blending elements of their reality with fictional drama. The plot revolves around conjoined twins Dorothy and Vivian Hamilton, played by the Hilton twins, who are vaudeville singers. The story takes a dramatic turn when one of the twins is accused of murder, raising moral and legal questions about shared responsibility due to their physical connection. The film opens with a judge addressing the audience, asking for their judgment on the case, a unique narrative device. The Hilton sisters' real life experiences deeply influenced the film. Born in 1908 in Brighton, England, they were conjoined at the hips and shared blood circulation but no major organs. Exploited as children by their guardians, literally sold by their mother to Mary Hilton, they were exhibited in sideshows and later became vaudeville stars. After gaining legal independence in the 1930s, thanks to Harry Houdini's help, They continued performing but faced challenges in their personal lives, including failed marriages, which were PR stunts and lavender marriages, and of course, societal prejudice. Chained for Life was both an attempt to showcase their talents and a community on their unique circumstances. However, it was criticized for sensationalizing their condition. The film remains a curious piece of cinema history, reflecting the complexities of the Hilton sisters' lives. And as you know, I've spoken about the way they passed. They were working in a grocery store in their older years. They passed in January of 1969, just a few weeks before their birthday, which was February 5th, 1908, my birthday. And they had contracted the flu, and one died before the other, and the other lasted 2 to 4 days until she passed as well. It's just a very sad ending for these girls who started out in poverty and exploitation to end up in poverty and almost just not even known at all anymore. And the reason people knew they died was because they didn't show up for their job at the grocery store. So someone went to their house and discovered them, or their apartment, wherever they were staying. Very tragic end to the lives of Daisy and Violet Hilton, who were the darlings of vaudeville. And they were very talented. They could play clarinet, saxophone, violin, piano. They could sing in harmony. And they just had a very hard time growing older, being conjoined twins with these, societal prejudices, and they couldn't understand why, when they grew older, people weren't as attracted to them. They were cute conjoined twin kids, but society did not accept them as cute conjoined twin adults. So they had a very interesting life. They never got to keep any of the money that they made. They were exploited by their own mother, Kate Skinner, after giving birth, who sold them to Mary Hilton, who willed them to her daughter Edith, and her husband Meyer Myers after her death, who exploited and beat them worse. And were it not for being in vaudeville, were it not for the exploitation of these girls, they wouldn't have met Harry Houdini and ever been able to get out of the situation. So the fact that they did get out, that they did gain their freedom, that they did at least die not under the control of someone, really is a testament to their will to live and survive and be free. So if you want to check out either of these films, you can find Freaks on Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, and Chain for Life is available for rent or purchase on Amazon Prime Video and Apple TV. So if you enjoyed this content and are loving the Haunted Hollywood history, please give a like, please give a comment. Let me know if you have any clues. Go ahead and email me at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com. And thank you for joining me in the den.